already recording.
Rolling. Come on, touch me up. Oh God, Holly Willoughby didn't have to put up with this crap. I need some. Did you see that? All over the Good Morning sofa. Thank you. Gone up in the world, got our own hair and makeup person now.
Hi, welcome back to JDTV. This week's episode is all about mastering your calendar.
We get a lot of people talking about this, a lot of our clients, a lot of people that we meet, always talking about never enough time. And one thing that we try to say to them is you have to take control of your calendar. You are the master of your calendar. No one else can do this. So we've got 5 tips for you about mastering your calendar. So the first one.
You've got to put the big things in first. So what are the big things? It's your holidays. Holidays, days off, time off, the things that are most important to you that take the most amount of time. So once you put those in, then what?
Put in everything else, and I mean everything else. If it's not in your calendar, it doesn't get done. So how many times have you said, oh, I'm going to do some social media posting, or I've got some sales calls to make, but there's no allocated time in your calendar. So when is it going to get done? It's not going to. So when I say put everything else in there, I mean meetings, sales calls, walking the dog if that's important to you, lunches that you might have, putting social media on, all those things, every job that you need to get done in a day, in a week, in a month, get the time in your calendar.
And why do you do that? You know, it's because the stuff that you actually put in your diary, that you put in your calendar, you actually do.
Yeah.
So what else?
This is the big one for me. It's all the other stuff around all that stuff that I just talked about. So I'll give you for instance, travel time. No one ever puts the travel time in the diary, and then it's like, oh my goodness, actually I'm losing 2 hours today because I've got that 2-hour meeting in Birmingham. It's going to take me an hour to get there and an hour to get back. Oh whoopsie, I didn't put it in my diary, so suddenly I've lost 2 hours. Sales calls. If when you do sales calls, you know that you're going to have to do some follow-up, like sending an email, calendar another appointment, even if it's just 15 minutes worth of work, block that out, sales call follow-up. So put in everything that needs to go for prepping, planning and follow-up. Make sure all that time is blocked out as well.
So what about improving the meetings that we have? Because people ask us for meetings, don't they?
Yeah, this is. I said the last one was my worst. This is also everything's my worst one. I'm a real time miser. I love talking about time and how we can use it better. So for meetings, I would suggest having a start and an end time. How many times do we just rock up for a meeting, 10 a.m? What time do we know it's finishing? I might think you've got 45 minutes of my time. The other person might have a lot on that day. They might be happy to chit chat for 2 hours. That's not going to work for me. So when you put a meeting or your planning time, whatever it is for yourself in there, you always put the start time, make sure you've got an end time. Don't be Ruby.
And then the last one, and have an agenda for your meetings. You know, if you think about when you go and have a business meeting, maybe with somebody that's a bit more senior than you, quite often they'll ask you, you know, in the olden days before you were running your own business and you had a boss, they'd ask for an agenda. Board meetings have an agenda. It just helps structure everything and you know what you've got to get through. If it's on the agenda, you do it. And then when you've got through that, then it's finished.
That's it, which ties in with the end time. So if you're a host of a meeting, set an agenda. If you're attending somebody else's meeting, get the agenda. And that's it.
And I use that as well. If people ask me for a meeting that I'm not too keen on, but not sure about, I'll ask them for an agenda for the meeting so that I know if I've got to prep anything as well.
Definitely. So just those 5 things, they're really, really simple things, but they will have a massive effect on your calendar. And it doesn't matter if you use digital or paper. I use a bit of a hybrid of both. I do still like the feel of a nice leather Filofax, makes me feel like, you know, I'm getting somewhere in life. So I do like a paper diary. You're all digital, aren't you? Whichever it is, pick something, but use it, and just use those 5 tips that we've given you to get more control of your calendar.
Right, thanks guys. See you next week.